Chris, I know you mentioned this, but this is probably like the most like, what I don't know if this is the word, but like the most range out of John Cena that we've seen in a movie so far.
It's definitely the most
Well,
complex performance he's ever given.
well, it's
Yeah,
because
that's
usually
more
he's
so what I meant.
typecast as like the big bulk guy, right? The big wrestler boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fucking whatever that movie's case was, he's just the guy who had all the drugs.
Yeah, or the Marine.
Or the
Yeah.
Marine,
Or
yeah.
or
Yeah,
or or my favorite character he's ever played, 12 rounds in the titular film 12 rounds. Do you guys
Yeah.
remember the 12 rounds movie?
Nope.
Nope.
Never
Well,
saw it.
it's oh, originally it was going to be a Chris Farley comedy called 12 Pounds. And then
Fuck.
Jesus.
and then he died, you see, and so it went into development hell.
This sounds like a bit, but
Anyway,
12 pounds, Chris Farley.
Anyway.
Oh my fucking god.
and then they thought, okay, well, Chris Farley's dead, and that's too bad. We'll burn his
effing chat.
We'll effing chat. We at Hollywood will burn his funeral pyre in a few. And then they considered handing it over to Eddie Murphy, who would play the role of 12 pounds in a fat suit. And it was going to be a Nutty Professor sequel called The Nutty Professor 12 Pounds. And then they realized, oh shit, we need to make another 9 more Nutty Professor movies before we can do the Nutty Professor 12 Pounds. So they scrapped that idea. And then...
God, 9 Nutty Professor movies. That sounds horrible. That sounds so bad.
And
or
then
ideal, given your point of view.
And then they thought about handing it over to somebody else. So they thought, well, why don't we try to restart John Lovitz's career? So they handed the script to John Lovitz, and he originally thought that it was going to be about a guy who only weighs 12 pounds because he's a fucking idiot. He said, well, why don't we hand it off to Steve Buscemi, because the last I heard, he weighs like 12 fucking pounds. So they gave the script to Steve Buscemi after rewriting it as a movie about a guy who weighs 12 pounds. And then Steve Buscemi passed on it. And then, after Columbine, they decided to rewrite it as an action film. And after years of trying to get it made, they finally got it made through WWE and offered it to John Cena.
I see. So, at what point does this tie in with the Will Smith movie 7 Pounds?
Isn't there also a movie called 3
A movie
Pounds?
that I forgot existed until now.
Now, 7 Pounds... So that was also going to be a Nutty Professor sequel, because they kind of decided, like, okay, well, we can't get 9 of these movies out because there's no fucking way these idiots are going to go see 9 of them. So why don't we just make 4 more and then do the Nutty Professor 7 Pounds, right? And then...
I like this idea that every movie that has, like a scale of, like, weight in its title is just a Nutty Professor sequel.
Yeah, because, and again, and actually, funny enough, so actually, no, I'm wrong. It's actually the same movie as 12 Pounds, which became 12 rounds, So here's the thing. Because Columbine happened.
Right.
And then 9/11 happened.
Right.
And the writers were torn, and they went, okay, so we can't do it as an obesity comedy anymore, and we can't do it as an anorexic comedy anymore, because the liberals are going to get mad. So why don't... Because actually, the other person they were going to consider for the anorexic version was Carrot Top.
Right.
And then they found out that...
A very famous anorexic person.
Yeah, and then they found out that he was dead. So they just kind of gave up on it.
These Nutty Professor sequels are always run into the same problem. They want somebody, and they're dead.
Yeah.
I think this is their 50th attempt to try to cast Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, I was gonna say Marlon Brando is really trying to get that part in the 7th Nutty Professor movie.
Yeah, really fucked up that they keep asking Philip Seymour Hoffman. But anyway, so then they wonder why he's leaving them on red. Anyway, 9/11 happens and Columbine happens. And when Columbine happened, they said, we're going to make it an action movie, a big shoot-'em-up thriller. Because they're ahead of the curve, and they knew that that's what America wanted at the time after Columbine, was just big guns, big action, big set pieces, big shooting everybody in a mass public setting. So that's how 12 pounds became 12 rounds. And then 9/11 happened. They thought, well, let's actually just redraft this as like a solemn drama about how sad and remorseful we feel and how we want to give back to the world after such a national tragedy. And that's how 12 pounds became 7 pounds. And they decided, we're not going to make it a tasteless comedy anymore. It's going to be a heartfelt drama about Will Smith losing weight by, cutting organs out of his body.
Is that actually the plot of 7 Pounds?
In a weird, fucked up, roundabout way, kind of.
So that's so fucked.
It's not that far off, honestly.
No.
It's depressing.
And yeah, anyway, so that is how we got the John Cena film 12 rounds. Now back to Suicide Squad.
Right.
Chris, I know